evening, sir. Good evening, friends. Let's start. My name is Praveen Kapoor. We are voluntarily hosting these sessions for all startups and budding entrepreneurs. So, before starting, I would like to share one famous quote from Kunal Shah of free charge. If you have fully accept worst that can ever happen in your journey, fear would not be obstacle in starting up. I would like to invite our eminent speaker, mentor, and guide, Dr. Pranja Kumar. Sir, will you please share your thoughts on startup ecosystem for budding entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
See, the broad ecosystem for startup means it should have the infrastructure facilities where these startups can put their idea so that whether we can check it out whether it can be commercialized, because one small idea can be commercialized or sometimes the big idea is not commercial. So that aspect needs to be understood by these entrepreneurs. Basically, I'm saying entrepreneurs because they are not. I'm not considering them as now a startup, because any entrepreneur can have ideas, but once you can have that commercially viable ideas into the market, then only we can say that okay, now you are the startup for that novel ideas, because your ideas should be novel, your ideas should be unique, your ideas should be not imitating others, your ideas should be adding value to the existing proposition also. No problem there. If you have any existing situation is there, existing solution is there, you can add some values, then also you can be a startup. So being a startup, actually you need to study, you need to understand, you need to do a lot of homework before going for any like making a startup, basically, because you should not be in a position, you should not always target a very limited customers, because anytime anyway you are going to scale up. So you should always try to understand the three things. What is your total attainable market, that is called TAM? What is your serviceable obtainable market, that is SOM? And finally, where you can have your serviceable achievable market, SAM. So your target should be TAM first, and after TAM you should know what are the obtainable market you are having with you, and finally the SAM, the serviceable achievable market, as SAM, is basically should be basically your target point, because where here only you can actually scale up. You can scale up from SAM to SOM to TAM, isn't it? So I would like to say that you should be actually not investing much time on putting some colorful PPTs in front of VCs, venture capitalists, but instead if you have this TAM, SAM and SOM in your mind, and then obviously you can put a very quantitative PPT or quantitative presentation to VC. Yes, I will make you know this TAM, SAM, SOM in the WhatsApp group, because time is very less, because as you know, this another session is also there. So I will elaborate these things on you on the WhatsApp group, where I will explain with the equations and formulas, and very easy to calculate. You don't need any CA or things, but your objectives should be very clear, and your value propositions, whether it is product or service, should be unique. And how it can be unique? It can be done through some workshops. It can be done through some you can say like design workshop or design thinking, which also I will let you know in the group. So like some of the tips are there. The simple tips, if you can understand, then obviously you can have a very good, very effective presentation for persuading or compelling your venture capitalists or funders or banks. And this is the basics about the ecosystem. I have explained. Now if any questions related to any of these stages of the startup, then I can also answer you. So you are mute.
Yes. Thank you, sir, for your inputs. Now I would like to invite our next speaker, eminent speaker, mentor, and guide, chartered accountant, Mr. Manish Kumar. So, Manish Kumar, can you please share your thoughts on how a startup should register? What are the legal compliances they should follow? Can you please share your thoughts?
Thank you, Parveenji, to organize such kind of the wonderful webinar, and I will share the statutory compliance related to a startup. Just I'm sharing my slide, so everyone is viewing. Everyone can see my slide.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
there is some rule for success in the startup. Just I will go a little bit fast. Okay, so you require the MSME registration, startup registration, statutory compliance, MIS, and profit projection that you require for your startup. Yeah. If you know, but you have not implemented, that is the dangerous thing. If you don't know what you have to implement, that you can say, I was not aware and I will implement. And you know, and you have implemented some area, some part, then you are on track. So you have to know what is your status, whether you know the fact, whether you don't know fact, or whether you know fact and you have implemented some part. That you have to understand yourself. Now, for MSME registration, you can take online. And what is the benefit of the MSME registration? One benefit is that you have raised any invoice to anyone, तो आप वहां से within 45 days में you can ask the payment. अगर सामने वाला vendor 45 days में payment नहीं करता है, then आप MSME में केस करके उससे with interest आप उससे पैसा ले सकते हो. सेकेंड बेनिफिट ऑफ MSME क्या होता है कि व्हेन यू हैव टू टेक ट्रेडमार्क और पेटेंट, तो वहां पर ट्रेडमार्क में अगर आप कंपनी का ट्रेडमार्क लेने जाते हो, देन ऑफिशियल फी इज द 9,000 रुपीज. बट वंस यू हैव द MSME रजिस्ट्रेशन, देन ऑफिशियल फी वुड बी ओनली 4,500 रुपीज. तो MSME रजिस्ट्रेशन के बाद योर ट्रेडमार्क और पेटेंट का भी कॉस्ट रिड्यूस हो जाता है. देन वी हैव टू डिस्कस अबाउट द स्टार्टअप रजिस्ट्रेशन. स्टार्टअप रजिस्ट्रेशन है आपके पास और यू हैव द इनकम टैक्स एग्जम्पशन, देन 10 ईयर के ब्लॉक में आपको 3 इयर्स का इनकम टैक्स का बेनिफिट मिलता है. नाउ सेकेंड पार्ट इज द कंप्लायंस फोकस. दैट इज द मैनेजमेंट का क्या फोकस है और स्टैट्यूटरी कंप्लायंस फोकस क्या है, बैलेंस शीट क्या है. नो, तो कंप्लायंस फोकस में आता है GST, इनकम टैक्स, ROC, लेबर लॉ अगर आपका नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉय 10 से ज्यादा है, और अदर लॉ लाइक प्रोफेशनल टैक्स एक्सेट्रा. यू हैव टेकन द GST नंबर, तो आपको GST टाइम टू टाइम फाइल करना है, अदरवाइज इट विल क्रिएट द प्रॉब्लम फॉर यू. 20 या 50 रुपीज पर डे का पेनल्टी आता है. इनकम टैक्स में फाइलिंग ऑफ इनकम टैक्स इज द वन पार्ट एंड डिडक्शन एंड फाइलिंग ऑफ TDS रिटर्न इज द अनदर पार्ट. ROC, as you have the startup company or your company is a private limited or limited company, then you have to file AOC4, MGT7, director KYC, company KYC, MSME. There are the various return that you have to file on time. Otherwise, ROC has the big penalty clauses like AOC4 और MGT7 आपने टाइम पर नहीं फाइल किया, then it is the penalty of the 100 rupees per day. Or in case of the director KYC, if you have you did your director KYC on time, then there is no cost from government fee. There is no government fee. लेकिन अगर आपने ड्यू डेट के बात करते हो, then it is the penalty of the 5,000 rupees. तो where अगर आपने सारे compliances टाइम पर करते हो, then you can save your cost. जो मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग होता है, that is the MIS and profit view, कि आप क्या मंथली MIS क्रिएट कर रहे हो, मैनेजमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम की आप किस ट्रैक पर हो, आपका सेल क्या है, आपका प्रॉफिट क्या है, या फिर आपका जो एक्सपेंडिचर हुआ है व्हेन यू हैव टू रेज द फंड, तो उसके लिए आपको क्या क्या चीजें करना है. और जो आपने लास्ट 6 मंथ्स में या 1 ईयर का जो आपने काम किया है, व्हाट इज द ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड ऑफ प्रॉफिट, वेदर यू हैव जस्ट इन्वेस्टेड, देयर इज नो प्रॉफिट. इफ इट इज द प्रॉफिट, तो व्हाट इज द profit rate, whether it is a 5%, 2%, 10%. So that is the most important thing for your startup, or you can say any business. After that, there is whatever you have the question, we will discuss. Thank you, Praveenji.
Thank you, sir. We do have a few questions in chat box. Let me take one by one. First question from Mr. Mrityunjoy. He's asking, what is the most important thing we should have in raising funds at POC stage? Dr. Pantar, will you please take this question?
Yes, question is basically what is the most important thing you should have in raising fund at POC stage? See, POC stage, you are not required to go for fund first. You can go for grants and seeds. Okay, because up to POC, you can take seed fund up to 25 crores. Okay, from any incubation centers, and also you can apply for grant like government grant, private grants, because funding should be basically after POC, means proof of concept. Okay, and that you can go through VC. For this, we actually need to have some pitching strategies, like how you are going to pitch. Like I just a single line attached. No, your pitching presentation should be very compelling. Like TAM, SAM, SOM, what I say, that are the more power. But before that, you should go for seed funds and you should go for grants.
So we do have another question from same. What is the best USP?
See, best USP, unique selling say, proposition, or you can say your value proposition depends on your competitive advantages. So before that, you need to have your SWOT analysis. Have you made if you haven't made your SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, threat, or challenges, then only you can find out what is your competitive advantage. And based on that only, you can decide upon what will be your USP.
Right. One another question we have from Sean. He is asking, what is the difference to pitch in front of business incubators or venture capitalists?
The business incubators you cannot pitch. Business incubators are facilitators for your pitching with the investors. They are not actually investors. They are the infrastructure. So that is called boot camps, or you can say there are a lot of hackathons and everything happening. No, they are facilitators. You have to pitch in front of VCs.
Right. One another question we have, what are the compliance for annual returns? Maniji, will you please take this?
Definitely. What is the question?
What are the annual compliance for companies, registered companies, for startups?
Yeah, as we have, I have said to you, the annual compliance means there is the we have to file the one return, that is the AOC 4 and MJT 7. Apart from that, every director has to do director KYC, and company has to file MSME registration. That is the ROC part. Apart from that, every company has to keep Company Act register. In Company Act register, they have to mention who is director, who is shareholder, who to whom a company has contract with whom. तो वो सारा एक कंपनी एक्ट का रजिस्टर होता है, in which you have to mention the list of director, list of shareholder, as well as list of the contractor to which with contracting you have did the some contract like आपने कोई ऑफिस रिपेयर का किया है या फिर कोई आपने वेंडर का रजिस्ट्रेशन किया, एनी काइंड ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. And apart from that, you have to keep also fixed asset register.
Okay. One more question from Mr. Harshul Kapoor. He is want to know what is the benefit and drawbacks for registering OPC and LLP.
OPC and LLP, there is मतलब कि OPC the private limited company, only you can say that it is the one person private limited company, and LLP is the limited liability partnership. So benefit is that in LLP there is some less compliances. In OPC or in any private limited, it is the more compliances. And in OPC, अगर आपका there is a one particular criteria like 50 crore से ज़्यादा आपका turnover हो जाता, तो your OPC will be converted into private limited. But there is no such as the legal requirement in case of the LLP. In LLP, you can have the turnover of the 1 rupees, or you can have the turnover of the 1000 crore.
Okay, again, Neetu Kapoor wants to know, she is doing some, feasibility study, and she has the website from, for counseling, and she's earning some, from few clients. So which type of company she should go to for registration?
एक बार फिर प्रवीण जी एक बार फिर से बताइएगा क्वेश्चन.
उन्होंने कुछ फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी करी है, कुछ वेबसाइट से उनके क्लाइंट्स आने शुरू हुए हैं, दे आर पेइंग फ्रॉम व्हाट्सएप और एनएफटी एटसेट्रा. सो किस टाइप की कंपनी शी वांट टू नो कि रजिस्टर करनी चाहिए, ओपीसी या एलएलपी?
nahi,
क्या
I will suggest to go for the private limited company. I will never suggest for the OPC as well as the LLP, because LLP में क्या होता है कि you have to file the annual return on 30th June, जो ऑन एवरेज आपको मतलब किसी भी साइट पर या कहीं पर भी आप व्हेन यू स्टडी तो ये चीजें नहीं लिखा हो रहा था, बट इन केस ऑफ द प्राइवेट कंपनी आपका जो एनुअल रिटर्न फाइल होता है दैट इज ऑन द 30th सितंबर, तो यू हैव द सम मोर टाइम टू कंप्लाई ऑल दोस थिंग, तो आई विल नेवर सजेस्ट गो फॉर LLP.
one more question?
There is one,
Yeah,
there is one
from,
more question related to TDS filing, so may I answer?
yes, please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so for every private limited company has to file TDS return. Now, question arises कि in one quarter there is no TDS deduction. Suppose that I have founded my company, and during the 3 months there is no company has no contract, company has not paid any rent, where tax has to deduct. In that case, there is no need to file TDS return. But if there is any one transaction, suppose that your rent is exceeding 20,000 rupees per month, तो आपको TDS काटना है. Your professional fee exceeding 30,000 rupees, then you have to deduct TDS. Your contractor का एक single bill exceed 30,000 rupees और whole amount in a year exceed 1 lakh rupees, तो आपको TDS काटना. तो अगर एक transaction भी आ जाता है, then you have to file return. Otherwise, there is no need. But on TDS पोर्टल आपको एक स्टेटमेंट फाइल करना होता है कि फॉर दिस क्वार्टर वी डोंट हैव एनी TDS डिडक्टेड, सो वी आर नॉट फाइलिंग, दैट यू हैव टू गिव द डिक्लेरेशन.
Okay, I hope Jatin, hello Jatin, I hope your question is answered.
Yeah, hi Praveen. Yeah, my question is answered. I have one more question before this, if you can help me with that.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I'll just read it out. So basically, I have a friend of a private limited company in Gurgaon, and I want to set up a backup team in Rajasthan. These are two different states. So what are the legal things I need to get for me to pay salaries to people sitting in Rajasthan? Can I pay from my Gurgaon setup having the same TDS, GST, TIN number, or I have to get a complete new set for Rajasthan?
So if you have the private limited company, then you can pay from the from central location, that is the Gurgaon. There is no need to take any GST or TIN or any other compliances for the Rajasthan. Only one case you require for the Rajasthan, if there is some professional tax applicable in the Rajasthan, that I have to check right now. I'm not remembering whether professional tax is applicable in Rajasthan or not. If professional tax is applicable in Rajasthan, then you have to take the professional tax registration. Otherwise, everything like GST, TDS and everything can be done from Gurgaon location, single registration.
So if we open an office, so we need not to do anything there. We can just make our employees sit and work.
Yeah, definitely. Just you have to do one rent agreement in Rajasthan or Jaipur, whatever the location you want to do, and you can start working. There is no need to take any registration.
I have my own place actually.
So there is no problem. So, but you have the you are the director in the Gurgaon company.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So there is no you have not to do anything.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Mrityunjay, can you please unmute and ask your question? Actually, Mrityunjay is asking, can we think about competing with market leaders companies? I think, yeah, Doctor, can you please take this question?
Yes, why not? We can compete with anyone. As I said, we can compete only if we have some differentiation in the market. Okay, if the product is, suppose a market leader is providing, if you can put some differentiation, or if you can put some added value, added activity, features, obviously you can compete. There's no one can stop you, because there's competition commission of India is there, so they will look after. But that besides that, there is nothing that you cannot compete. Small companies have already competed with the large companies, and they are also making good success, as you have seen in the market presently in COVID situation also. You can do it. You can do it.
Okay, we do have one more question from Ishan. He is asking how a startup should plan go-to-market strategy.
For market strategies, for
yes.
go-to-market strategies, that is the scaling part. That is the scaling part. For that, you should need to have a very robust business plan. You cannot stick to one business plan. You should have agile business plan. You should have the robust revenue modeling. You should have the robust customer journey mapping. Then only you can go to market, so that you can go for collaboration. You can go for merger acquisition. You can also set up your units in other part of the countries. So these are the things. So you should also very careful while preparing your business plan from the day one. So that you should be agile, you should be robust, so that it can take care of all type of customer needs, your growing customer needs in future also. So that is also part of the design thinking, which can be learned, which can be discussed.
We do have one more question from Rahul Shukla. He is asking, do we need to read entire company act to understand types of companies? Mr. Manish, will you please take this question?
Yeah, definitely. Rahul, there is no need to understand or read entire company act, because when you have to open any company or you want to start your venture, then you have to consult your financial advisor like chartered accountant or company secretary. He will guide you, and you can open only three kind of the company. One is the OPC, another is the private limited, and third is the limited company. So there is no need to understand and read entire company act for you.
We do have one more question from Ishan. He's asking, actually, they're into the venture and they do not have any balance sheet, but what they should show in projections when they are going for banks or fund. So can you please give your inputs?
Definitely. Once you have, it is the first year or it is the second year, you have not prepared the balance sheet. For projection, balance sheet is not such as the required. You require the what you have the projection for the next 3 years, next 5 years, and whatever you have the input, you have to give your professional, so he can prepare your projected balance sheet along with your profitable visibility or profitable viable project. So you can go ahead with the bank or investor.
Okay. Mr. Jatin, can you please unmute and ask your question?
Yep, I have one more query. This is related to retail apparel market. So basically, this is into build to ship to concept. So there are three parties. All are into B2B. For example, manufacturer, supplier, or wholesaler, and retailer. So all three are B2B parties. And like for example, I am a supplier. I have a client, and I have a manufacturer with me. How can I manage that without revealing the manufacturer's details? I can directly ship the product from manufacturer's location to the retailer. And how to manage the e-way concept? Is this very complex?
Definitely, it is some such thing, complex thing that right now I cannot explain to you. You can discuss me in after webinar, so that it will take at least 15 to 20 minutes. So I cannot.
Sure.
I'm not able to disclose. Yeah?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
How to proceed to start a new startup if we have only idea? I think how to proceed to start new startup if we have only idea? Ashul, can you please elaborate this question? I think he wants to know, he is working on the idea and then how they should plan to proceed. Doctor, will you please take this question?
If we have that idea, at least wherever, if he's a student, then his institutions can help him to discuss or share this idea with any incubation center. and suppose he's not a student, or then he's suppose independent, then he can at least discuss with first of all, he should protect his idea. I must say that protect his idea means not to discuss with anyone. And secondly, he should document his idea properly, and then he can proceed with some registration of the company. We should start a company first, and based on that, he can register himself with the Startup India as a startup, and he should approach incubation center and go and request for the seed funds or pre-seed funds. That way, he can continue his business.
Okay. Mr. Rahul is asking, he wants to get into franchising model for my brand. How the type of company will impact on this? What precautions should I take?
Franchising model is basically collaboration. Okay, so as I said, collaboration is the next thing in the new normal. So that's the reason a franchisee has a good thing in future, good prospects in future, but you should not continue with franchising. Later on, you should try to have your own setup so that you can franchise your activities to others. But for starting, franchise is good.
In the end, I would like to take final comments from Doctor, from your side.
Final comment from my side to all startup or who are already into startup is that you have to be very, very much confident in your activities. You should not basically disheartened in this situation of new normal, and you should invest as much as possible. You should learn. Actually, learning is the only thing where you can understand and you can discuss more things.
Yeah, final comments from Mr. Manish.
Yeah, for the every startup, as the doctor president has said, your idea must be viable and you have to work on your idea. Apart from that, working on your idea and your business, you have to comply or compliances so that आपके ऊपर penalty और government का जो interest है, that should not be heavy, so that you can run your business smoothly. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And in last, I would like to share once again one famous quote: "Don't worry about failures. You only have to be right once." With this quote, I would like to say thank you for both of you and all listeners. Thank you very much for sharing your precious time. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Mr. Manish.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, participants. Yeah, thank you.
Wish you all success in your startup journey. Do like and subscribe our channel for more sessions for startups. Thank you.